Hello everybody and welcome to the Derek Ruby Show. And today on episode 9 is a very special episode because unfortunately on August 29, 2016, Gene Wilder passed away. And while Gene Wilder has been remembered for various movies such as Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, among many others, I wanted to review today the movie that he is probably most famous for and most well remembered by all of us as children, and that is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Just a fair warning, there will be spoilers, but come on. Every one of you have seen this movie, and if you haven't, where's your childhood? So, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 classic. This movie stars Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka, Peter Ostrom as Charlie, and Jack Albertson as Grandpa Joe, among many others. Now, the main focus of the movie is that Willy Wonka has been inside his chocolate factory for well over 10 years, and he's created quite a legend for himself. He has a contest going on where there is 5 golden tickets, and anybody who finds a ticket will get to go to his factory with the possibility of winning a lifetime supply of his chocolate. We meet Charlie, and we see that he has a paper route, and he comes from a very poor family with 2 poor sets of grandparents. His mother works very hard. She's constantly washing clothes. The contest is so out there that even the President of the United States and the Queen of England are trying to get in on the bit. Matter of fact, when the contest is announced, Charlie's teacher dismisses the class just so he can find a golden ticket.
Willy Wonka's opening his factory. He's gonna let people in.
You sure?
It's on the radio and he's giving truckloads of chocolate away.
Class dismissed.
No, it's only for 5 people.
Class undismissed.
He sent him 5 golden tickets, and the people who find him will win the big prize.
Where's he hidden the tickets?
Inside 5 Wonka bars. You gotta buy Wonka bars to find them.
Class dismissed.
Then, of course, as one by one each ticket is found by a different child, there is a villain named Slugworth who is going around and seems to know where every single child has a golden ticket. He is right there to make an offer to them. And when Charlie finally wins his golden ticket, he makes the same offer for Charlie to find the everlasting gobstopper so he can ruin Willy Wonka, and promises that he'll take care of his family.
10,000 of these. Think it over, will you? A new house for your family, and good food and comfort for the rest of their lives. And don't forget the name, Everlasting Gobstopper.
And then, of course, we meet his family early on, and we meet Grandpa Joe. And he seems like the grandpa that every one of us would like to have, a guy that's in our corner. He thinks Charlie works too hard. He's really rooting for him to be able to have better for his life. He kind of wishes he had more time to play and to do things. And when Charlie finds the golden ticket, he wants his Grandpa Joe to come with him. Miraculously, after 20 years, Joe can get up and walk. Maybe you've been faking it this whole time, Joe. I don't know. So we go to the Wonka factory, and there is a humongous amount of press there waiting, and we get the first glimpse of Willy Wonka as he walks down and with a limp and a cane, and then he does a flip and impresses the crowd, and he brings everybody in. And when he brings the kids in with their parents, he shows them this giant contract with very, very small fine print and has them all sign it. And then he takes them to a real small room. Eventually, he leads them to a place where they have a giant river full of chocolate and a whole bunch of trees and bushes, and everything is made out of candy and different things. And the kids as well as the adults enjoyed themselves. The scene even today is pretty breathtaking. I mean, if you were a kid, you would really love to be there. Even though it's not like the 2000s style of graphics and whatnot, it's still a very, very amazing looking scene to see. And then we have the first sign of the Oompa Loompas, little orange-faced men with green hair, and see that they're the ones who make all the chocolate for Willy Wonka. And then we see the first child goes to the chocolate river and wants to continually eat and drink the chocolate, and he falls right into the river, and then he gets plugged up by a pipe. And then we get the first song from the Oompa Loompas, and we will continue to get songs throughout the movie after Wonka knocks off each child one at a time. And then we get probably one of the most famous scenes in the movie. It is the boat scene. And when they all get on this boat, it just looks crazy. It goes fast. You see all these crazy scenes. And it is pretty amazing. I mean, it's so much so in the pop culture that even back in the 90s, Marilyn Manson made a Dope Hat video. He used the Willy Wonka style setting So, I mean, it's something that is constantly been referenced in the movie throughout the years. And it is probably the first time where not only do we realize that Willy Wonka is a genius, but he's completely batshit insane. And he keeps on rambling, and then next thing you know, the boat comes to a complete stop. And then after the boat ride, we get to one of the central focuses of the movie, and that is the everlasting gobstopper. Each child is given one, and of course it's the thing that Slugworth wanted from the beginning. He shows up this gum that supposedly tastes like a full-course meal, and then the girl Violet, she takes the gum after he tells her not to and starts chewing it. Charlie asks his Grandpa Joe, why is Violet not listening to Mr. Wonka? And to which Joe replies,
because, Charlie, she's a nitwit.
The translation to that is,
Dumbass!
And then she blows up like a big beach ball, pretty much looking like a kind of a purplish blue color, and they have to roll her out of there, and we get another Oopa Loopa song. And then as we make our way through the chocolate factory some more, they come across an area where Wonka has been making what he calls fizzy lifting drinks. And he tells them all not to drink any, but for some reason Charlie and his Grandpa Joe decide to do it anyway. And in a very cool scene, which even to this day, this many years later, still looks like it would be a hell of a lot of fun to drink something and for you to float around like that. I mean, they're having a good time till they realize they're going to be chopped up by a fan. And then they freak out, and in one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in cinema, they burp their way out of it. After that little experience, they realize not to fool with any of Mr. Wonka's stuff anymore. So then we have the girl who constantly wants everything, and she's constantly throwing a fit. As they get to a room with geese that lay golden chocolate eggs, she wants one, her dad offers to buy one, Mr. Wonka won't sell it. She throws a giant conniption fit. And next thing you know, she's standing on a little tray that decides whether eggs are good or bad. And it drops her in the bad egg section. Her dad jumps in after her, and next thing you know, Wonka states that they're going to the trash, and they will probably be burned by the furnace, but they got a 50-50 shot. Yes, not a psychopath here at all, is he? Then we go to a scene where they're on top of this fizzy machine that kind of reminds me of the Family Gradunza from the Cat in the Hat and the Dr. Seuss books. They go to a section which they call Wonka Vision, which can shrink down chocolate. And one of the other kids, he wants to know if he can shrink down a person. And he insists on running over there to try it. And Wonka, in his best way, obviously tries to stop him.
Stop, don't come back.
And then the kid shrinks himself and then pretty much takes him out of the equation. Now, once we get past that point, Charlie and his grandpa are the only ones left, and Wonka basically bids them goodbye. Charlie's grandpa wants to know, how come, where's Charlie's lifetime supply of chocolate? And Wonka says that they're not going to get it because they broke the rules, they stole fizzy lifting drinks, and pretty much that they're free to go. Grandpa Joe basically tells Charlie, hey, let's just give that gobstopper to Slugworth. And then Charlie takes his gobstopper out of his pocket, and he gives it to Willy Wonka. And he sits there for a second, and he tells Charlie that he won the competition. And basically, by that selfless act, he was able to win. And Wonka and them go into a special little device that shoots them above the factory into the air. And Wonka tells Charlie that he's going to inherit the factory and that his family can live there. And he gives him a happy ending.
But Charlie, don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What happened?
He lived happily ever after.
And this movie teaches kids a lot of things, It teaches kids about lessons about gluttony, always having your way, watching too much TV and all kinds of things. But it also teaches you that you can be optimistic about life and that good things can happen. So it's a timeless classic, as I said before, and it really is a world full of imagination. It's right on along the lines of Wizard of Oz or Alice in Wonderland. It's something that's been around for many years, and it will continue to be around long after we're all gone. So I would have to give Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory 4.5 stars. Thank you, Gene Wilder, for all the memories, and may you rest in peace. So thank you guys for listening to the Derek Ruby Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Derek Ruby Show, or you can follow me on Facebook at The Derek Ruby Show. Please leave comments in the section below and let me know what you'd like me to review next time. Thank you very much, and you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.